inspirations, spotlighting gospel sensation. Robinson Show. Motivation and inspiration for your eternal destination. Robinson Show. Let's talk about it. It's the Mary W. Robinson Show.
Welcome to the Larry W. Robinson Show, the podcast. I'm your host, Larry W. Robinson. We are having enriching conversations today in this new season of the Larry W. Robinson Show. My guest now is Carolyn Richards. Thank you so very much for being with me. She is one of the co-authors of this book, Overcomers, Next Level Living. We're going to tell you how to get it, but she has written chapter number 7. I love it. It says, God always directs, always leads, and always protects.
Yes.
So before we get into that, tell me just a little bit about who you are, what you do, and how to get in touch with you.
I am Carolyn Richards. I'm a native Houstonian, mother of one fine son. That's at the age of 43.
Come on.
I have 3 grandchildren. Forgot about one. 3 grandchildren. And I have a degree in computer science.
Oh, wow.
I've been working with Shell for 45 years.
Did you say 45 years?
It'll be 45, October
Wow.
22nd.
Come on now.
Be 45 years. And I am the praise dance director at Windsor Village.
Come on.
Named Methodist Church for 31 years.
Oh, wow.
At the 30th of this month, it'll be 30 years. So.
All right.
That's
And
pretty
so
much
tell
it.
me, how did you meet Dr. Commons, and then how did you come to be an author in this book?
Dr. Commons is also a church member at Windsor Village, and I've known her pretty well. She's poured into my life, and she's one of the people that I really look up to and admire a lot. And she talked to me about doing it. I was supposed to be a part of the first installment, but wasn't quite ready, a little nervous, didn't have myself together. And then she pushed me and encouraged me, and so I was happy to share my story.
That was the life coach in her.
That's a life coach, yes. So I was very happy to share my story. And what's interesting about it is you only share a little bit, because it's not your full story, but you share those things that are instrumental that you know can touch somebody else, and they can glean from what you went through and don't have to repeat it.
That's it right there.
Don't have to repeat
Yeah.
it. So, and I think that's what God has called us to do, so I'm excited about that.
So tell me about God always directs, always leads, and always protects. Did you come up with that title? Or
I did, because
Okay,
that's
tell me
my
about
life
that.
story.
Okay.
Because once I finally developed my relationship with God, then I understood that if I allow Him to direct me, if I allow Him to lead me, He'll always protect me, and He's always with me. And so I had to learn that, and we go through things, and you wonder why, how did I survive that? That's because He was directing your path. He was always protecting you. And once you say yes to Him, He'll lead you to where He wants you to go.
So I know this to be true now that I'm a little closer to 50, but I didn't realize that even when I thought I was on my own, doing my own thing, God was still in
Yes.
the background orchestrating
Absolutely.
the steps of my life.
Absolutely.
Can you testify about that too?
Absolutely. One of the things I started off with when I was younger, and I didn't realize until I got older, that I had accidentally got in the car with people I didn't know, but they looked just like somebody I knew at a bus stop. And once I got in there and I'm looking around, I was like, I don't know these people.
Oh, wow.
But they took me directly to school. I was in high school, and I had a whole bunch of things, and they dropped me off, but they can tell I got nervous when I looked around and said I didn't know them. That was instrumental for me and still impacts my life today, because that lets me know He was protecting me.
Yeah.
He was guiding me, He was covering me, and He always had a hedge of protection around me, even in the midst of that situation. Because if you look at today's time, if we had that same situation, my outcome may not be the same,
Wow.
and I may not be here today.
So you told them you was going to school, but how did they know?
I did. I was on the bus
wow.
stop, and I had all
Okay.
this stuff, and so they said, oh, you got a lot of stuff. Yeah, you want to ride? And he looked just like a classmate of mine.
Oh, okay.
But when I got in there, it was like, that was Was not. So now I know to pay very close attention, and make sure that I'm prayed up every day. And I pray for everybody else to be safe, because so many things are happening to so many people. And it's one of my stepping stones to say, I'm so grateful. So when it says God is always with us, that's a perfect example, even from back then. And as a kid, you don't realize it, or as a young person. But now you can see where he's always been there. He's always been directing. He's always been leading. He just asks you to say yes.
So one of the
him.
saints hollered out in church, he kept me. You know exactly
I know
what that
exactly what that means. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? We're talking about, this is a anthology of from 12 authors, 12 different stories. And Dr. Jacqueline Cobbin talked a little bit about the importance of writing your story.
Right.
Was it cathartic for you to write your story?
Absolutely. It took quite a bit for me, because when you're writing and you're thinking about you, it's always good when you're writing about somebody else and you can talk about how somebody else blessed you, but you may not think your story can impact other people. So once you write it and you start reading, it was like, oh. And then it's an eye-opening experience.
What lessons did you learn about yourself from writing your own story?
That I did say yes. And once you do that, you see the changes, that you can really speak from experience. Not just what somebody else told you, but you see that he's always been there. He's truly always been there. He always protects. And once you ask him, he say, just come to him. Ask him for what you want. And if it aligns up with his will, it'll be granted unto you.
That's good. All right. Check out chapter number 7 in this book, Overcomers Next Level Living. Listen, Dr. Carolyn Richards, tell our listening audience how they can connect with you today. We speak of those things every day.
I know, right? My email address is mygreatgod1@gmail.com. That is mygreatgod1@gmail.com. And my phone number is 281-989-1030.
All right. Any final thoughts or comments you'd like to leave with the viewers to overcome and to move to their next level?
Say yes to God. Know that he's always with you, and he'll always direct, he'll always lead,
I love it.
and he'll always protect you.
That's good. Carolyn Richards, can't y'all give her a hand? Bless you. Thank you so very much for being a guest, and thank you for tuning in.
Stay tuned for the Larry W. Robinson Show.
Friend, did you hear about the big gospel event happening this weekend?
Yes, I saw the flyer in Gospel Updates e-magazine.
Me too. I can't wait.
Where can I get a copy of the Gospel Updates e-magazine?
It is free. Download it from gospelupdates.com.
For the who, what, why, when, and where in the gospel community, visit gospelupdates.com and download the latest issue of the Gospel Updates e-magazine. That's gospelupdates.com.
You're listening to the Larry W. Robinson Show.